Live from All-Star Lanes in Baton Rouge, it is the finals of the Louisiana High School Bowling Invitational here on Crescent City Sports. As this afternoon we will have final matches of a one-day event that goes on every year on the high school bowling schedule. And in our final matches, 3/4 of the field is going to be from the New Orleans area. The girls match up. It'll be Academy of Our Lady against Dutchtown. And on the boys' side, it will be rivals Brother Martin and Archbishop Shaw facing off for this title. Pleased to have you with us, everyone. Lenny Van Gilder, pleased to be joined by Jesuit head coach Todd Bourgeois. Todd, you had your team here. Just missed making the Final Four. But this is a good event, whether it's early in the season, late in the season. Kind of gauge where you are in your season and get a chance to see everyone else in the state all at one time, isn't it?
Well, it's definitely great to be back at this location. It's a fun event. It's an opportunity for all the coaches to see where they're at in the beginning of the season. I think we're doing very well. We need to keep working on our spare shooting. But it's fun to be out here. It's great to see some New Orleans teams representing. And it should be some good matches today.
Yeah, what's interesting is we had 4 New Orleans area teams in the semifinals. 3 of them got through to the finals, and Archbishop Chappelle gave Dutchtown all they wanted. Dutchtown, debatably, the deepest team in Louisiana. They've got a lot of returnees who have reached the semifinals now 2 years in a row. And finally, they prevailed in the 5th and final game, 204 to 169. Meanwhile, Academy of Our Lady took out Sanamaw in 4 games to reach the final. On the boys' side, Brother Martin just got in. It's the number 4 seed. You're familiar with that. You were the 4 seed a year ago and then ended up winning the semifinals, winning the final to win this tournament. So it just goes to show you that, yeah, seeds are there, but they're not as important in this. You just want to be able to get to the bracket and have a chance, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think seeing the teams out here, they're all pretty evenly matched up. I know a lot of teams lost seniors last year, but the coach has done a great job to get the team back up and going, so it's going to be fun.
Brother Martin facing a Shaw team that had to come from behind against Central Lafourche. They were down 1-0 and 2-1, came back and won a close Game 4, and it started out with 6 consecutive strikes to really put away Game 5, 237 to 136. Now, this format of what we're going to show you today is totally different from everything else you see in the rest of the season. The Baker format is one that involves a 5-man team instead of a 6-man team, and as you see there, each bowler is going to bowl 2 frames per game. So it's one score with each bowler bowling two frames. And unlike what you have to deal with in the regular season, where other than picking your bowlers, your order is set, there's a little bit of strategy in terms of trying to set your lineup. Yeah. In terms of how you line up. Everybody's got a little bit of different strategies, but talk about what goes into trying to set a lineup.
Yeah, so you always want to start off the first bowler is going to set the pace for the team. And you're always looking for the 4th bowler that's going to set up your anchor bowler in the 10th frame. So a perfect example is what happened in the semifinals where Brother Martin was set up to go in, and the anchor bowler came in there and threw 3 strikes to win 2 of the games. Right. Clutch. You want your clutch bowler to be in that 10th spot.
Right, and Ashton Catalinato is bowling in the 5th spot today, at least the second half of the day. Jacob Van Gilder had started the day in the number 5 spot. Had a little issue with his thumb, came out for a couple of games. He's gone back in the leadoff spot, and to Catalinato's credit, he stepped up. And look, Brother Martin's got 3 returning starters from that state championship team a year ago, so there's not a lot of difference between those 3, but at least in the previous match, you had Van Gilder at 1, you had Kate Chatelaine in the 4 spot, and you had Catalinato in the 5 spot. You talk about returnees. We mentioned Dutchtown. Shaw may have the deepest lineup of returnees, perhaps anyone in the state. They only lost 1 bowler from a team that reached the semifinals a year ago.
Yes, that's correct. Coach Vidros has done a fantastic job with her program, and losing 1 senior last year certainly has helped them this year. So I expect them to go deep in the season.
You see the girls warming up. We'll take a look at the boys' warm-ups going on as we're just about done with practice balls. Both teams getting ready for this final match. There were 10 games of qualifying this morning, something a little bit different as well, but what it does is it does allow teams to be able to substitute some in this format. Yep. only your top 8 scores of those 10 games counted. So if you stuck some subs in there, it's, you know, you weren't necessarily penalized. You count your best 8 scores, give yourself a chance in that you know, design. So you throw out a couple, yeah, like I say, you throw out a couple of scores, but still your best 8. And it was very close for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Brother Martin just edged out your team, Jesuit, along with Dutchtown for 5th and 6th there. So tight finish, but again, it's just a matter of trying to get to this point of the tournament where you make the bracket and have a chance to move on.
Correct, and each bowler only bowls 2 frames in that game, so you ask them to focus on those 2 shots they're going to throw for the team.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right.
2 practices a week before the season starts, 1 practice a week after the season begins.
So both teams getting in their final huddles at this point. On both the boys and the girls side, will get underway. Again, much like the semifinals, this is, and unlike the early rounds, this is not a total pins format. This is game against game right here. You're trying to win 3 games. It is best of 5 games. It's really a sprint to the finish right now, you know, in terms of this, because again, everybody's just going to bowl 2 frames. This will go very quickly. It's a fast format, and it's a lot of fun, although it is different than what we see in the regular season as well. So we get set to go. Brother Martin and Shaw will be on lanes 15 and 16, the boys' final. To our right. To our left on lanes 11 and 12 will be Academy of Our Lady against Dutchtown. And the other thing that may be different than what you would ordinarily see is in Baker play, you bowl an entire game on 1 lane. You don't cross over to the other lane except for the next game. So you bowl an entire game on 1 lane.
Correct.
All right, so here we go. Boys match will get underway first, and Jacob Van Gilder, who's been in the 1 spot for the second half of the day for Brother Martin, looks to get things started and does so with a strike. Garrett Alello will bowl leadoff for Shaw in this opening game and leaves a 3-6 on lane 16. You can see the scoring monitors at the top of your screen. As we check in on the girls match, a good start. It's Layla Lejeune bowling in the leadoff spot for Dutchtown. She gets things started with a strike. Emily Barrios in the leadoff spot for Academy of Our Lady will leave the 1-3-6. So Alello converts the spare. And Peyton Averill in the 2 spot for Brother Martin doubles to give Brother Martin the early 10-pin edge in game 1. And now a turkey as Bo Buffkin, one of the newcomers on this team, steps up, crosses over, but gets one there, and suddenly it's an early 20-pin lead. Jonathan Arena in the 2 spot for Shaw in this opening game leaves a 4-5-7. That's a bit unusual for somebody with the power that he can generate, but the 2-pin just went straight back and missed everything there, and nothing got mixed up. Now Cade Chatelaine, and that is a 4-bagger and a great start here for Brother Martin in game 1. And an open frame for Dutchtown in the second, so they fall behind here for the moment. As we check in on the girls match, on the left lane, that is Taylor Rotolo from AOL, and she will get a strike to maintain the lead. And the threat of a Baker 300 is over on the boys' side as Ashton Catalanato crosses over and leaves the 5-pin. Joshua Collins in the 3 spot for Shaw as Arena, we should mention, converted the 4-5-7. So he's a 4-7 left for Collins. It's an early lead for the Crusaders here of 34 pins as Collins cannot convert. He misses the 4-7. That will extend the Brother Martin lead in game 1. Go back in on the girls match here quickly. And Allison Olivia has improved a lot over the last few months. Has gotten a chance to bowl in some of these bigger tournaments and has really excelled. And she's bowling in the number 3 spot right now for Dutchtown. She spares. Now it's Addison Acord in the number 4 spot. Good looking shot right up the second arrow. Mixes them up but cannot take out the 5-pin. So Acord to be followed by Ashton Yochis, who was clutch in that semifinal match against Chappelle. Got up and threw 2 strikes in the 10th frame to close out the match.
She's a very good bowler. She's done a lot of work on her own, and she's improved tremendously.
Yeah, a Nebraska signee, in fact, a senior. A lot of these Dutchtown bowlers are seniors, and they've been bowling, again, a lot of them since they were sophomores. And a strike for Andrew Hill, bowling in the 5 spot for Shaw. Now a 10-pin conversion. Van Gilder will convert the 10-pin, and halfway through game 1, Brother Martin right now with a 34-pin lead, but now it's 24 as Alelo turns that into a turkey in the 6th frame. Got a split for AOL at Skylar Alexander up on lane 11, and she'll convert the 2-5-7. So the girls match staying tight. AOL with an early 1-pin lead as we get our first look at Ashton Yochis, and she delivers a strike to keep that match at 1 pin. And then Lainey Sasso, bowling anchor for AOL. She's been their top bowler now for 3 years. Coming up, she'll have to get a re-rack here as Arena strikes for 4 in a row now for Shaw as they are cutting in to this early Brother Martin lead. And in the 7th frame, Peyton Averill for Brother Martin leads at 2-4-5. So if Averill can convert the spare, this would be a 21-pin, check that, an 11-pin Brother Martin lead. Collins leads to 2-5, so the string is over there. And now a double in the girls match for Dutchtown as they will take the lead before Sasso can get up to bowl the 5th frame. And Sasso leaves a 10-pin. So it's a 10-pin lead for Dutchtown as they bowl in the 7th frame. One of the other, I guess, unique things, if you will, about the Baker format is that because you're not crossing over lanes, one team can get well ahead of another team. It's just the nature of how it goes.
It is, but the good thing is they're going to flip lanes every game.
No. So Buffkin with a strike in the 8th will extend the Brother Martin lead to 13, and Elwood through the face will leave a 4-pin. So a chance here. Brother Martin's getting in closeout range. A big shot here for Kate Chatelaine in a 9th. 10 in the pit. And now a 9 count for Catalanato. It's a 24-pin lead. A 9 count here for Catalanato on the first shot in the 10th would be a closeout and would give Brother Martin a 1-0 lead. So let's stay with this for just a moment as Elwood will convert the spare. Catalanato on lane 15. He was incredibly clutch in the semifinals. That's going to cross over, but it goes on the board as an X. And Brother Martin will win game 1.
It's a great start for Brother Martin to come out shooting that kind of score.
So that match is in hand as Andrew Hill will strike on the first shot of the 10th. Let's go back and check in on a tight girls match. And again, we talk about the pace. Dutchtown just finished the 8th frame. AOL just finished the 6th frame, Todd. So that is, you know, the pace there. Now AOL's going to know, in all likelihood, what it's going to take. As ball kind of hung on the hand there, and a 4-7-10 split right there. That is Rotolo bowling in the number 2 spot. Again, it's like we mentioned in Baker. You go through the lineup one time, and then you go back through the lineup again. You know, 1st and 6th frames, 2nd and 7th, 3rd and 8th, 4th and 9th, 5th and 10th. So Rotolo, the junior, and they'll finish up on the boys match game 1. Brother Martin with a 254 to looks like will be a 211, perhaps with a spare coming for Shaw. So it's now 102 in the 7th for Academy of Our Lady and 124 in the 7th with a spare up for Dutchtown. So a 22-pin lead for the Griffins with 2 frames to go for them. And a great shot right there by Acord. And that puts Yochis in a position to where if she gets up and strikes with a good count in the 10th frame, she's got a chance to close this one out right here.
Yeah, team can shoot at 204.
Yeah, and now with the miss on lane 11, that one by Jenkins, now she doesn't even need that. Just basically needs a spare and very good count here.
Defeating Shaw, who also shot at 200, and then we had Central beating Central Lafourche the first round.
Now we do have 3rd place matches going on the outside. We'll try to get you an update on what's going on in some of those as well. But focused on these, obviously, in terms of our coverage. The Open now means Yochis basically just needs a mark to win. And that's right there. That's a winner. So Dutchtown will win game 1 over Academy of Our Lady. And now we're underway in game number 2 on the boys' side. Looks like lineups may have stayed the same. Van Gilder starting with a strike for Brother Martin. Alello starting with a 4-pin. So that's how we get underway in game 2. Again, Brother Martin with a 1-0 lead over Shaw. Dutchtown finishing up game 1. They will have a 1-0 lead over Academy of Our Lady in the championship matches of this Louisiana High School Bowling Invitational. And Todd, a chance to remind you that today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Quick Lane services all makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, much more. All done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. Must be a reason. Our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck and his entire team at the Lamarck Motor Company for their support of high school sports here on Crescent City Sports. So an open frame for Brother Martin in the second as Peyton Averill threw his first shot in the channel. The second shot leaves 2. It'll be 26 in the second. And Shaw with a chance to get an early lead here as Jonathan Arena's got a 4-pin to convert in the second spot. And he's got it, so it's a 13-pin lead for the Eagles. We're getting word that so Chappelle winning game 1 over Sanamaw in the third place match. 189 to 159, the final in the game 1 of the girls match. So we get set for game 2 to get underway there. First in the boys match, Buffkin will have a 5-pin to convert. A little bit of a rack issue on lane 15 for Shaw. What is, I mean, besides the change of pace and getting a chance to kind of gauge yourself against, you know, so many other teams all being in one facility for one day, what do you find you gain out of this event, this annual event on the bowling calendar?
Well, there are some high school athletes here that will be moving on to the collegiate level, and this is exactly how they bowl at the collegiate level. It's a lot of fun. It's very high energy. It's something that I kind of wish high school here in Louisiana would get to at some point in time in some kind of form.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
No, I agree. It'd be nice to, you know, if you took one game of traditional play and replaced it with 3 games of Baker, it would take the same amount of time. It'd be interesting to see. So a 14-pin lead for Shaw as the girls match now underway. Let's peek in on that as the lead gets extended as Chatelaine missing a 10-pin for Brother Martin. First frame in the books as AOL starts with a strike. They switch lanes again now. AOL now on lane 12, Dutchtown on lane 11. And a missed spare right there will give AOL an early lead, and missing the head pin there. Catalanato, wow. Pins flying across the deck, and I don't, is that the 6-pin standing in the gutter right now that didn't take out the 10? That's a bad break over there. A powerful shot, but could not take out the 10. Now you just got to knock it down. Yeah, Andrew Hill on lane 15 will strike, and Shaw has a 25-pin lead as we reach the midway point of game 2 of this match. And a good conversion over on lane 12 right there on a very tough spare by Taylor Rotolo. That's now 3 open frames for Brother Martin the first time through the lineup as Catalanato missed the 10-pin. And Alello throws a strike, and Shaw suddenly has a 46-pin lead in game 2. So they've reached the midway point in game 2 on the boys' side. The girls' match is in the second frame of game 2. Pace a little bit slower. And Jacob Van Gilder with a strike on 16. Trying to keep pace there. And Jonathan Arena leaving a 3-6-10 over there. So now we're back to action. 2 opens already for Dutchtown to start this. So AOL has jumped out even with a 3 count there, losing some valuable pin count opportunity. AOL has a 16-pin lead in that girls match right now. Meanwhile, we check in back to the boys' side, and Arena converts to 3-6-10. Brother Martin has a double. They've closed the gap to 33. A lot more work to do there as we've reached the 8th frame. Not much time to go. Ooh, and Bo Buffkin goes through the face and leaves the 3-4-7. And I would think at this point, you got to give this a run right here in this kind of match. A strike by Collins will keep Shaw's lead right where it is at 36. Buffkin giving this a run, but it goes in the channel. And that's going to pretty much be a shutout for Shaw. They basically just need to stay behind the foul line the last 2 frames at this point.
So both wins come on lane 15.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of those things, part of the reason why you switch lanes in this format, because one lane can be different than the other. Remember a match last year, I believe it was a best-of-7 format. I believe the team on one lane won all of the first 6 games. The strike for Laney Sasso for a double over on lane 12 in the girls match, and it is now a 6-pin lead for Dutchtown as they have strung 3 strikes together in a row after a pair of opens. All right. So it's going to be a 1-1 match on the boys' side between Brother Martin and Shaw. Again, this is a best-of-5. As Alelo strikes in a 10th. And a mixer can't take out the 8-pin right there for Barrios, but it's still with the 6 count for Layla Lejeune on lane 11. Still AOL closes the gap by 3 pins. It's now a 3-pin match in game number 2 of the girls' final. And a spare conversion by Barrios and a miss on the other side. That will now give AOL an 11-pin lead in the girls' match. About to finish up, you're looking at the...
We have Central is up 2-0 on Central Lafourche.
No. Third place match on the boys' side, Central, you may have heard, taking a 2-0 lead on Central Lafourche. Catalanato throws his fill shot and leaves a 10-pin. 223 to 173. So now it's a 1-1 match as they will switch lanes and get ready for game 3. Got a big split in the girls' match there. You see it on lane 12 with Rotolo. It's a situation where you want to just try to preserve pin count right here and make sure you get 2 pins. And a spare by Emma Bowman will pull Dutchtown back into the lead, barring a conversion here on the big 4, which she got the 2. That was the right play. And so Dutchtown leads by 5 as we head to the 8th frame here. I think the other thing, at least in this part of the format here, although obviously I think it works well in the, the early round format, is there's a strike by Allison Olivia on lane 11, is the chance for your best bowlers to get up there. And I know you rotated some of your people through the number 5 spot today to give them a chance to bowl that 10th frame and maybe have a chance to get up there and throw 3 strikes to really enhance your team's situation, or in this case, maybe even win a game. We saw, Catalanato double in the 10th twice for Brother Martin in the semifinal to win games. So that's an opportunity to not necessarily put pressure on your kids, but just see how they excel in that situation.
And that's exactly why I did that, because I wanted to see how bowlers will handle certain pressures. And a lot of them stepped up, so it's good.
So in the girls' match now, Dutchtown has taken control here as Yochis will get up in the 10th with a possibility for a closeout. Just needs a mark. A mark right here. A strike would do it, so would a spare with a good count. And there it is. So Dutchtown is going to take a 2-0 lead on Academy of Our Lady as we'll switch back over to the boys match as Brother Martin has jumped out to a big lead here in game 3, throwing the first 3 strikes. Shaw starting with an open. Now Arena in the 2 spot will jump up for Shaw. And Arena with a strike, get his team back on track. Now, one of the things, if you enjoy high school bowling, try to get out there, or you enjoy bowling and maybe you haven't seen high school bowling, try to get out and see these matches early in the year because there's some great matches early on. Your team, Jesuit, will bowl Brother Martin on Monday at Colonial. 2 best girls teams in the New Orleans area, Chappelle and Academy of Our Lady, face off on Thursday. And then a week from Monday, it's these 2 teams bowling in the finals, Brother Martin and Shaw, going to face off at West Side Lane. So there's a lot of good action coming up in short order here.
Yeah, varsity high school bowling has really grown through the years, and it's gotten a lot more popular, and the support that the fans give us is just making it grow even more.
So Yochis will finish out with a 198, and best that AOL can shoot here is 181, so that's now a 2-0 lead for Dutchtown in the girls' match. Sasso will have to wait for a full rack of pins to come up and try to finish this out.
Girls, Dutchtown has taken a 2-0 lead in
Oh.
the championship match.
The boys' match, Riley Elwood, who's a newcomer for Shaw, and he stepped right in a big way. And they only lost 1 bowler. We mentioned Jonathan Freeman, who is, interestingly, still of age to where he could bowl in junior events, but yet he's, he had a late birthday, but he graduated, so he's still showing up at some of these junior events. The big junior tournament next weekend in Homa, the Grand Prix event. I know, some of your bowlers will likely be down there. Some of the Brother Martin bowlers, the Shaw bowlers, the AOL bowlers, across the board, who we're seeing out here today. A lot of these bowlers will compete in that tournament next weekend. And the opportunity, it's one of the great things about junior bowling, not at the high school level, but in these tournaments, is the chance to earn scholarship dollars. When I was bowling, I guess when you were bowling, we got trophies and plaques, which were nice, but it's a lot better to be able to cash in on a scholarship as well, and you can earn some big money out there.
Definitely another reason to get involved in high school bowling or junior bowling, because that money goes towards college tuitions.
Yep, no doubt.
Very big help.
No doubt. All right, so Brother Martin has a 48-pin lead as they bowl in the 7th frame of Game 3, and Peyton Averill with a break there to get a strike. Garrett Alello up on lane 16 will strike. It'll stay a 48-pin match. We get ready for Game 3 on the girls' side. That's a 2-0 lead for Dutchtown. This is a 1-1 match on the boys' side between Brother Martin and Archbishop Shaw. And a strike for Buffkin. That's a double right there. And Brother Martin in command right now, leading by 58, but Arena will answer with a strike of his own, which makes it 48 pins. We saw this last year. This tournament was held in February last year, right before we had the crossover matches with Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and the Final Four on the boys' side ended up being Jesuit Catholic, Brother Martin, and Dutchtown. Yep. And the 4 of y'all, 5 days later, bowled each other in Kenner. And that was kind of interesting. I think it probably took some of the edge off of that. Obviously, your team won, Brother Martin won, and I think that went a long way for both of those teams. But maybe some of the pressure from that was taken off by the fact that you just bowled those teams 5 days before. And some of these people are going to see each other again, like we mentioned, some cases a week's time with, 9 days of Brother Martin and Shaw. We nearly had a Chappelle AOL situation who are going to see each other on Thursday. I think it helps take some of that edge off a little bit when you do that.
Absolutely, and it's great to bowl against these teams in this kind of format.
Right.
You're right, it takes the edge off.
Now, Laney Sasso with a chance to convert a 9-pin will do so. And that's a 10-pin match as we get to the second half of Game 3. 66 in the 4th with a spare up for Dutchtown. 56 in the 4th with a spare up for Academy of Our Lady. Again, Dutchtown leading that match 2-0. On the boys' side, it's a 2-pin match, although Buffkin's left a 2-8-10 over on lane 16. Meanwhile, you see right there the strike by Lejeune. and Buffkin misses them all. It's a situation where that's a hard spare. You got to make sure you get count right there and don't worry about trying to go for it.
That's what it's all about. So we tell the bowlers, get count.
Yeah. And a 10-pin for Collins, as you see. Thought he was going to carry that one. So basically, just Bruce Hember just flip-flopping Chatelaine and Van Gilder in his batting order, if you will. Van Gilder goes down to the 4 spot and throws a strike. And so now Catalanato with a chance to double up here. Collins will convert the 10, and it's now a 15-pin lead for Archbishop Shaw. And as Catalanato leaves a 4-pin, let's check back in on the girls' side here, as it is currently a 25-pin lead for Dutchtown as they bowl in the 7th frame. And a chance to remind you, today's action on Crescent City Sports brought to you by the Greater New Orleans USBC, serving men, women, and youth bowlers in the New Orleans area. For upcoming news on this year's city tournament, check the website at gnousbc.org or their Facebook page. Come out, support your local association, and have fun doing it. Our thanks to President Claude Mayer and the entire board for their support of high school bowling. Todd, I know you're involved with that organization, and you know what they do for, you know, not just youth bowling but adult bowling in the New Orleans area. Obviously, is very important, and doing some different things to try to generate interest in, you know, in tournaments and in different events, and keeping people engaged with bowling in the New Orleans area.
Yeah, the board does a lot of work with regards to awards, rules, and just trying to make the sport fun.
Yeah, it is, and have fun doing it, as I said. So checking in here on the boys' match right now, it is a dead even match as we hit the 6th, 7th frame right now. Olelo needs to convert a 6-pin. They both have 71 in the 5th. And a big spare conversion for Averill in the 7th, the double wood there. Now in the 8th, Buffkin. And a big shot for a strike right there. So that's 111 in the 7th and a strike up in the 8th. Arena in the 7th leaves a 4-pin. So Brother Martin takes a 1-pin lead right now in this match. And again, Brother Martin a frame ahead at this point. We flip back over to check in on the girls' match and a potential, in fact, we could call it a closeout right now. Dutchtown is going to wrap this up right here in 3. Yochis doesn't need to do anything. The best AOL could bowl is 145. Dutchtown has 146 in the 8th and a strike up, or spare up in the 9th.
Dutchtown's bowled good all day.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. They have been solid. And look, they are incredibly deep, and they've been at it, like I said, for 3 years. They were semifinalists 2 years ago, semifinalists last year, and I would say right now they're the favorite to win a state championship.
Definitely.
For a really new program. They really just got their program started here when these girls were freshmen.
They got a good coach.
See, we'll switch back over now to the boys' side with that match in hand. And a strike for Collins in the 8th. So Shaw with 110 in the 7th, a strike in the 8th. Brother Martin 131 in the 8th. And a spare in the 9th. So this is a huge shot for Elwood right here. A strike would give Shaw the lead in this match. A spare, and we go into the 10th with a 1-pin match, with Brother Martin having the lead. So this is a gigantic shot right here in this match with Elwood up on lane 15. That's high, and got a break and only left the 10-pin. So if he could convert here, this will be a 1-pin match going into the 10th. And no matter what happens, we talked about Catalanato in the clutch earlier, he could throw 3 strikes in the 10th and win this right here.
He sure can.
There it is. And there's the first one. And the final in the girls' match, 173 to 121. So Dutchtown wins in 3 straight, and they are the girls' champions. Will we have a boys' champion momentarily, or are we headed to Game 5? Let's see. This is a big shot for Catalanato. Wide, and he leaves the bucket, the 2-4-5-8. All right, so a spare here, and Hill needs a double. And that's through the face at a 3-6-10, and now Catalanato just needs 1 pin. The highest Shaw can bowl with a spare and a strike is 167. Catalanato just needs 1 pin, and Brother Martin is a winner. And that's a winner. Brother Martin is your boys champion. And for a school that has won 5 state championships in the traditional format, this is the first time that Brother Martin has won this Baker tournament.
They have a really good team this year. I mean, they have fantastic coaching. They're always in it.
Yep. And a great match here. I mean, obviously, yeah, we had some lopsided scores the first 2 games, and this one will be close. But, you know, your team and these 2 teams have been the 3 best teams in the New Orleans area now for at least 2 or 3 years. And it's going to be fun to watch a match on Monday. Going to be fun to watch a match the following Monday with everyone going against each other. By luck of the draw this year, you're not playing Shaw. There's a lot more teams in the New Orleans area where basically it was a full round robin.
Yeah, we have 19 teams in our region this year.
Yeah, and look, and it's great. There's 19 teams in the New Orleans area. A lot more new teams competing in this tournament. So competing in high school bowling. A lot of them were here, and I had a chance to talk to the people from Hahnville. We're really excited to be able to get up here and compete in this event. And it's it's a lot of fun. So I guess they're still going with the 3rd place match over on the girls' side. Central has finished 3rd on the boys' side. Again, the boys' final, Brother Martin defeats Shaw 3-1. On the girls' side, Dutchtown sweeps Academy of Our Lady 3-0. And we talked how fast moving. This is fast moving.
That's why this format's so much fun.
Yeah.
It goes fast. You can bowl more games, more involved.
I like it. I really do. This would be great to at some point see this part of the traditional match format.
I think we'll get to that point at some point in the future. I really do.
I think it helps from a lot of perspective. I think it helps create a different, concept within the traditional match itself, but it also helps the people who are going to be able to go on and bowl at the college level, help prepare them for that. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage here for what has been a fast-moving but a very fun afternoon. Again, congratulations to the Dutchtown girls, to the Brother Martin boys, our champions here in the High School Bowling Invitational. Todd, we appreciate you sitting in with us. Best of luck with the Blue Jays the rest of the way this year.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so for Todd Bourgeois and our entire Crescent City sports team, I'm Lenny Van Gilder. Again, your winners today, the Dutchtown girls, the Brother Martin boys. We'll have much more high school streaming coverage coming your way on Crescent City Sports Wednesday, in fact. High school wrestling from Conlin Gymnasium. It's Jesuit and Brother Martin again. It seems like it's rivalry week between those 2. The Blue Jays and the Crusaders, Wednesday at 6 from Conlin Gym High School Wrestling right here on Crescent City Sports. Until then, so long, everybody. Sit live again. Sit live again. Just